Hi, I hope everyone is doing well. In today's video, I'll be explaining the updates coming to EXCOM with version 1.1.0 releasing today. This update contains an overhaul of how NPC and map data is loaded, changes to the helper tool file, and some general combat improvements, as well as minor bug fixes. With that said, let's begin. We'll start with the most exciting change first, file management. With the update, a new folder has been added to the Files folder. This is the Data folder. The Data folder can be found alongside the Images folder and the currently unused Mod folder. Data folder contains, as the name suggests, data, specifically map and NPC data for right now. Map data is stored as separate Excel files, while NPC data is stored as separate text files. And, like a road in a yellow wood, we will diverge and talk about why this is done for each dataset. NPC data was the first to be transitioned to this new file management decision, and therefore will be the first dataset I will talk about. Because XCOM is supposed to be an RPG, it will require a decent amount of NPCs in order for the player to roleplay against. This ultimately means that a not insignificant amount of dialogue will need to be written for an ever-growing cast of NPCs. However, the player can only interact with NPCs on a one-to-one basis. Therefore, without a way to unload unneeded NPC data, an ever-growing memory debt will incur. And, like all debt, would detract from other future adventures I may want to pursue with XCOM. Now, why text files? The simple answer, no main reason. A consideration I could lie about would be disk space. For instance, as a text file, the NPC Barkeep Gus will only take up 4 kilobytes of disk space, while as an Excel file, and with the data unformatted, the same NPC would take up 16 kilobytes of disk space. Now, as the NPC gets more dialogue, the initial size investment starts to matter a bit less due to, well, percent differences. And at small sizes like this, these differences are essentially the same on any hardware built in the last 30 years. But it's very easy to dump the entire context of a text file. All you need is a single line of code, 3 if you include opening and closing a text file, and I'm lazy, so that's what I've done. On the screen now will be some general results of testing I performed for the text file save and load. Pause as needed. A quick aside, loading 39 megabytes of data in 9.59 seconds sounds slow, but the King James Bible as a UTF-8 text file is only 4.2 megabytes. That's roughly 9.25 King James Bibles in less than 10 seconds. It'll be fine for the foreseeable future. Map data had similar memory debt concerns as NPC data, so I'll skip over repeating myself. When it comes to map data, I tried a similar process I had with NPC data via the jagged array text files. However, the map data proved to be a bit more computationally involved than the text data NPC data uses. To my credit, I did get it to work. It was just far too slow for any reasonable use. Instead, map data has been broken up into 3 large groupings. These are sectors, zones, and areas. Sectors are Excel files, zones are sheets within an Excel file, and areas are ranges which define a map within a zone. That's really it for the maps folder. You will use the sector file like you would any normal Excel file. Call in map information during gameplay, you will use the ETCS LNSZ. Please refer to the system guide within the extra folders for more details on what an ETCS is or what LNSZ does. This system guide can also be found embedded near the bottom of the download page for XCOM. The helper tool received a huge update with version 1.1.0. Previously, only the Path Command tool was implemented. Now the Dialog Builder tool, Other Command Builder, NPC Edit, Column Path tool, and Column Path Visualizer have been added. The dialog builder tool makes it easier than ever to generate dialog keys and values. The other command builder streamlines creating DSCs. NPC edit lets you edit NPC text files in a friendly format. Path command tool, along with the column path tool and column path visualizer, makes building and previewing NPC paths a far easier task. For the next update, I hope to have the ETCS builder finished up and add a few other tools to help with formatting data for various tables within EXCOM. Now, leading into more direct improvements. Combat overall has been slightly adjusted. Switch moves now support a new trick mode. This adjustment should help liven up the differences between the three move types. Additionally, the cooldown and duration after use formulas have been improved. Now, EXCOM will check for the closest level in the Master Unified move list instead of just the highest level. Also during combat, up to 4 separate ETCS can be triggered. And lastly, the biggest change, temporary moves. These are perks, skills, or switches which can last for a set number of battles and are usually taught via consumables, but can be triggered in other ways. See ETCS AML. There are more updates to discuss, but these are smaller and don't really need a whole section dedicated to them. Instead, I'll be listing them off one after another with no coherency. So really, no different than the rest of this video. You can now equip and unequip gear from your party members in the inventory screen. Additionally, party members now have unique major advancement values. The equip screen user form code has been updated too. Objects can now be multi-tagged. Being sorted for the inventory, multi-tagged objects will only be sorted into the first category within the tag. Event triggers have received 5 new commands with this update. These are PKMN, AML, AATR, LNSZ, and MRTES. And of course, several minor bugs have been squashed. With that, we've covered the main points of today's update. The next update should land sometime around 12/31/2025, but I'll keep the contents of that update a secret for now. I'll take this time now to thank you for watching the video, and if you have any suggestions for EXCOM, please write them below in the comment section. If you can, please like, subscribe, and share the video around. It helps me understand the general vibe people are having in regards to the project, and, you know, I like seeing the numbers go up. Take care, stay safe, and be Excelsior! Alright, I will see myself out.